Hello, hello, hello. Welcome one and all to Drawing Expressions streaming here live on YouTube. I'm Parz. If you've been here before, you knew all that. If you're new here, welcome. Okay. Funny thing here is normally I set myself up, I check to make sure everything is in line and whatnot. I can see myself right there on the screen. And then I got up and I came back, and of course I had to readjust. So there we go. Welcome one and all, like I said. Throw a note into the chat, let us know that you are there. Say hi. My lovely lady love Alicia is on chat as well. So she will say hi back. And I'll say hi too. Let's just kind of dive right in to what we're going to do today. So first off, the things to know, and the one thing that I always like to bring up is we operate here on guidelines, because guidelines bend and rules they break. And who likes to clean up the rules after they've broken? You have to go through with the broom, and you have to wear shoes, and they're all sharp and nasty. Guidelines, they don't break. Therefore, no cleanup. I like that. Okay, the class structure. Today, I think it's gonna hold to the planner pantser paradigm. Planner may be a little bit more of a squishy thing. We'll see how it goes exactly. Run with me, and I think we're all gonna have a good time doing it. There we go. And now let's move into free expressions. This is our free art time. Make a date with yourself. Come hang out. It is in our our new ICT 9 a.m. ICT. So Bangkok time. You'll often see it listed in your clocks and things. Art or writing time. Thank you. Also, the chat is now, there's no longer the 15-second delay to allow for the closed captioning, so there'll be more immediate results back. Okay, let's just kind of move straight into the breathy and the stretchy. Okay, so I like to square breathe when I'm getting ready to do my creating, and I'm going to invite you to do it with me. So let's just do it together. Taking a nice deep breath in. 2, 3, 4, 5, and holding. 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale. 2, 3, 4, 5, and hold. 2, 3, 4, 5. Deep breath in. And a little stretch. And out. Good. Wonderful. Okay. Let's begin. And I'm going to begin by just kind of hanging out here for a minute and talking about the theme of the day. Now, the live streams the last couple of weeks, and they're going to sort of continue through the end of the year, are sort of following what's happening on the calendar. It's hard not to. So we've done Halloween, and we've had some grateful Thanksgivings and things like that. And there's an awful lot of, remember this and, honor that, and all this within this time period. Remembrance Day in Canada is coming up next week, I think. Anyways, it's coming up soon. I've lost track of time. I'm in Thailand. And so one of the things that is on the calendar, thank you, tomorrow. Okay. Remembrance Day is tomorrow. So the thing that's happening in Thailand next weekend, is a holiday called Loi Krathong. And it's also known by in the English as the Festival of Lanterns. So that's what we're going to focus on today, and we'll get into why in just a second here, because I got a sip of coffee. Hmm. Okay. So the holiday of Loy Krathong is actually, there's two holidays kind of coexisting in the weekend, and again, it's next weekend. And so the name Loy Krathong is not actually describing both holidays. Loy Krathong is the one where you are building little boats. Krathong actually means boat. And so you're putting it onto the water and you're asking for blessings and you're asking for forgiveness from the water goddess for polluting her waterways, and thank you for the clean water and all that sort of encapsulated in. The other holiday, Yi Peng, that's the lanterns. So people get confused when they come here for the first time and they're like, where's the lanterns? Loy Krathong. And it's like, no, Yi Peng. So this is what we're going to be focusing on today. So the act of Yi Peng, or the celebration of Yi Peng, is you're taking the lantern, and many people know this, but if you don't, just bear with me for a second. You have lanterns. Here, I'm going to bring us up a quick. There we go. Just a little visual aid. So you have this lantern and you let it go. So what is the purpose of the lantern aside from being pretty? I'm just going to come back to the room here. So the whole idea is it's letting go. It's release. It is it's just letting things that don't serve you anymore go away. And so that's what we're going to do today. And we're going to write about the experience. So this is very much a personal journey type of a live stream today. So we'll walk through a visualization of taking a thing or things that no longer serve and putting them into the lantern and then letting it go. And then we're going to write about the experience as it floats off into the sky. And I've got another visual aid to help with the writing on that as well. So that said, let's start with the first bit, which is going to be, let's think of a thing or things that no longer serve us. What are those things that you've dealt with, the world has dealt with, but they still nag at you, like they still creep up in the middle of the night? And it's just like, oh, do you remember when you were 13 years old and you did something really stupid? And you're 60 years old now, or approaching 60, and you're it's still bugging you. That can go away. No one cares anymore, right? You can let that go. And so we're actually going to walk through, for people who haven't done visualizations before, we'll walk through a very detailed, simple visualization, which should help in the visualization process. If you've done visualizations, these are all guidelines, so just kind of go, race ahead, do your thing. I'll catch up. We'll all get there. Okay? So with that, let's first identify a thing or things and just write them down. What is it that doesn't serve us? A belief, an emotion, a thought, a heartbreak, heartache. These things that they make us angry and they rub us the wrong way and no one else can give up. And you don't really want to give up, but they're still just lingering. Just write it down. I know there's one there. There always is. So I've got one or two myself, which I will not bother to share here. But they are going to be going into my lantern. I guarantee that. So once we have written that down, we're going to walk through the visualization process. And I will bring up that visual aid again to help in the visualization process as you're working through it. Like, I can't remember. Okay, we'll have visual aids. You can open your eyes. You can imagine. Okay, so I'm going to take another sip, and I'm going to assume that we have at least one thing written down that is going to go bye-bye, and then we can watch it float away together. Okay, good. All right, so for this visualization, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to bring up that share screen again. There we go. So this is what the lantern looks like. And so you can see that people are holding on to what looks to be sort of like a, almost like a coat hanger thin piece of metal around the bottom of the lantern. It's very, very, very thin paper. There is a flammable, I think it's wax. I don't really remember. It's ages ago since I did my last real lantern, but I believe it's wax. And then it just heats up the interior like a balloon, and then eventually it goes. So it starts off feeling just a little bit weighty because there's not enough hot air to take it up. And then slowly but surely it starts to want to rise. And so instead of like having to hold it up off the ground, now you're trying to hold it down until it's ready to go. And then you let your fingers go, and then up the lantern goes. And you can see the other lanterns around it as they're starting to, you know, they're going up into the sky. Okay, so that's really what we're shooting for. So with all that said, what I'd like to do is to have you sit in a comfortable position, maybe just rock back and forth on your sit bones a little bit, bring your shoulders back a little bit, breathe and relax. You know the item or items that are going to be going away. So what we're going to do is, with a deep breath in and out, we're now going to address this item. And that's all I'm going to call it, the item. Thought, feeling, belief, pain, anguish, doesn't matter, item. Because it's going away. It's now not going to be a part of us for much longer. And it may help to think about that thing, that item, in terms of just a thing, something that came in Amazon, and you just want to return to sender, return it back to the universe. It's served its purpose. It's ready to go. It's kind of like emotional Boxing Day. You know, that day after Christmas, that day when you got all the new shirts and the socks and the underwear. There's no need to hold on to the old stuff. You box them up and out the door it goes. That's the purpose of Boxing Day. The purpose of Krathong is to do it, but with these items. So mentally, think about just taking your item and putting it into a box, okay? See yourself taking the item, and it can just be the name. It could be the event. Maybe it's just a little snippet of memory, maybe a little thumbnail, something, visual memory. It's some sort of representation of the item. And let's just put it into a box, just a plain old box. And that box, just a plain old brown cardboard. Close it, tape it. And we're just going to write RTS, return to sender. It's going back. Take away the charge. Take away the memory. Take away all those feelings that are associated with it. Good. Good. Now, here's the next step. You may want to open your eyes for just a second, catch a glimpse of the lantern again, and that imaginary box is going to fit really, really well inside your imaginary lantern that you're drawing up from what you're seeing in the image. Okay, so we can close our eyes again, and we can imagine just the box going in. There's no weight, and it just sort of free floats inside that lantern. It's just a part of the lantern now. All just part of the lantern. Good. Now, if it's not lit already, go ahead and light it and just feel on your fingertips, just the little bit of weight of the wire, little bit of paper. And we're going to count down from 10. And at the count of 1, we're just going to let it go. Okay? So holding it, it's got just a little bit of weight to it. So 10 and 9. And each time I count a number, it gets a little bit lighter. 8, 7, 6, a little bit lighter yet. 5. Now you're just holding it steady. It's neither floating, but it's just levitating. Neither up nor down. 4, 3, it's starting to push up. 2, you can really feel like it wants to go. 1, and release. And watch it float into the sky. Open your eyes. Your lantern is no longer the one that we're holding. It's one of the ones in the sky. Watch it float up and away. And as it floats up and away, there's other people around you who have done exactly the same thing. And it's going to look something like this. I'm going to scroll for just a second for scroll sensitives. Whoops. Here we go. Looks something like that. And it's more beautiful than any of your pain ever felt inside of you. And it's all just going away, a sea of light, a sea of lanterns. And we just let it go, off into the distance. Good. So with this, I'm going to invite you to take another deep breath. Stretch. And breathe out. Excellent. And this is the part. This is the exercise now. The thinking about what we had, the part that we have released, the part we've released, and watching it float away. And this is now the writing exercise that we're going to do. Okay, so I am going to come over to my writing page. And there we go. Get it set up. And bring my keyboard over. So let me invite you to write your experience. I'm going to write down mine. So feel free to watch. Feel free to partake in yours. And this may be a really great opportunity to use more poetic language because we are in the world of symbols. We are in the world of imagination. We are in the world of feelings, right? And just feeling that little bit lighter, that little bit freer, allowing something to just go. Okay? So I'm going to come over here to, share my screen. I forgot that my screen is not touch. Okay, there we go. There we go. So I like to start my writing exercises with a little bit of a reminder what it is that I'm going to be putting on the page, because sometimes I get lost. Okay, so I'm just going to start with the name of the festival, which is Hang. Okay. And a couple of ideas that I want to express as we write the experience. So one thing I want to express is I freed myself of something that was bothering me, something that was just, right? So freedom. Freedom from that thing. And I'm going to put the thing into quotes. Or not that thing, that sounds, we don't want to charge this from the item. And the reason I keep calling it the item is because if I say that dratted dastardly blah, 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 that's just still charge. It's inviting it to come back. The item, there's no feeling about it. It is so milquetoast. It's just, it's like that. It doesn't even rise to the level of that fruitcake you've got sitting in the back of the fridge from 3 years ago that you can't really figure out what to do with. It's just an item, right? And it's gone, unlike that fruitcake, which you can throw out, by the way. Okay, freedom from the item. Lantern floated off into the distance. I feel lighter. Good. And those are really the things that I want to express. And so let's just go ahead and do that now. And because of this very personal nature, if ever I come back to this, I'm probably not going to want to do much in the way of editing. This is just sort of, I'm really observing and really scribing, and then letting this go as well. Okay, so here we go. I could feel, oops, feel the weight of the box that I set inside the lantern. But knew the lantern itself could take it away from me, no problem. Again, I'm just, as it comes up, boom, on the page. It was something that had been bothering me for years and is now gone. This part is important, just came to me. I honor that it was with me to help me learn from my mistake. And now I celebrate that the lesson has been learned. And I can free myself from this teacher. I like how treatment just sort of jumped up on the autocorrect, not autocorrect, but the anticipatory machine, whatever that's called, from this teacher and its treatment. Okay, we're going to use that happy little accent and we're going to throw it right in there because I think that's, you know, don't ignore those little things. Okay, so that is the putting it into, like the freedom from the item. So I watched as the lantern floated up into the sky and joined others. Other lanterns, other items, other items, right? So we're referring to the fact that other people have put their stuff into their lanterns. And what's already up there in the sky now? Stars. Okay? Other stars. All burn brightly. All are beautiful. And I can watch them all. Good. Okay. So there is the the lantern floating off. And I'm just going to scroll up. So now we're going to get into feeling lighter. Because I feel lighter, and I hope you do too. If you do, pop it in the chat real quick. Okay, so how do I feel? I can feel the weight on my shoulders has lessened. Good. I'm so glad, Alicia, my lovely lady love, feels much lighter. Excellent. I hope you all do too. Okay. So I can feel the weight on my shoulders has lessened. It's not gone. There's still plenty more of responsibility and other cares and concerns there that I'm not ready. Whoops. I'm not ready to release. But the wonderful thing is that I can do this exercise whenever I want. And so when anything else is ready to depart, I can let that item go too. And there. So let's just sort of recap. So I said Yiping is the name of the celebration. I wanted to express being free from the item, watching the lantern float off into the distance, and feeling lighter. So I could feel the weight of the box that I set inside the lantern, but knew the lantern itself could take it away from me, no problem. It was something that had been bothering me for years and is now gone. I honor that it was with me to help me learn from my mistake. And now I celebrate the lesson that has been learned, and I can free myself from this teacher and its treatment. I watched as the lantern floated up into the sky and joined others. Other lanterns, other items, other stars. All burn brightly, all are beautiful, and I can watch them all. Actually, and got to put in, we're going to watch them float away. Watch them all float away. Right? Distance. I can feel the weight on my shoulders has lessened. It's not gone. There's still plenty more of responsibilities and other cares and concerns there that I'm not ready to release. But the wonderful thing is that I can do this exercise whenever I want. And so when anything else is ready to depart, I can let that item go too. Good. And that, in a nutshell, is the essence of Yiping. So I've just saved you several $1,000s in airfare and crowds and all that kind of stuff. But if you really want to come on out. But you can do this any given day. This is something that Alicia and I do every year, but it's been years since we've done actual lantern. We do it exactly as we've just done it now, where we imagine putting it into the lantern and then letting it flow off. But yeah, it is totally worth the experience of doing it in person, if only once. Totally worth it. Okay, so with that, I'm going to close up this part of the planner section. I'm going to come back to breathe and stretch. And I know we've been doing a little bit of breathing and stretching, but we're going to do it again. Okay, take a deep breath in and stretch. Knuckles doing snap, crackle, pop. Good. Excellent. All right. So how's that been for you? I hope it has been a worthwhile experience, giving that a go. Okay. Little sip of coffee and we move on to the pantser section. Okay. All right. To the Panzer section. Bring up my notes here real quick. So the wonderful thing about letting things go, whether it's items like a Boxing Day or like Krathong, this is more, feelings and thoughts and whatnot, is that it enables us to put something in that's nice and fresh. There is that old saying, and I'm probably going to screw the old saying up. So the paraphrase is, if you've got a teacup that's filled with old tea and you try and pour new tea in, it just runs off the top. You can't do anything with that full cup. You have to empty it out first, which is what we've just done, right? We've made some room. So let's talk about bringing something new in that will serve us. A hobby, or a hobby, or a habit, which apparently if you smash them together becomes a hobbit. Something that will improve your day, something that will improve your life, something that will just make joy just a little bit more joyous, a little bit more satisfying, a little bit better. So what would that be? I'm going to give you an opportunity to think about that. And this may very well relate to the things that we've just let go and they're old and they're stale. Not allowing, well, actually we want to keep this kind of concrete. Okay, I was about to say not letting not becoming so guilt-ridden. We don't want to have something that's just sort of amorphous and it's hard to grasp. Let's have something that's a little bit more concrete. Let's have something, if you want to write every day. What a wonderful idea on a channel that is talking about creative writing and doing visual arts. Why not? So let's put that in there. Let's put that in. And what form of writing would this be? Because there's all sorts of different ways to write. Do we necessarily want to work on a chapter of our upcoming novel? Maybe. Do we want to have something that's maybe a little bit more modest or a bit more accessible? Something that we can do on a daily basis. A friend, she sort of encapsulates each day with a haiku. That's a way to do something. And so maybe you do that. Maybe you do it by doing more of like morning pages. I understand morning pages are quite popular. I don't do them, so I can't really talk about them. But I understand that they are quite an experience. You get up in the morning and you just sort of free write for however long, a few minutes, thoughts, dreams, aspirations. It's almost like a Dear Diary, but without having had your first cup of coffee, that kind of thing. Coffee. So whatever it is that it looks like to you, maybe at work, part of your lunch break is just taking a moment to write one sentence, just something that's meaningful, something that helps to sort of frame the day, or whatever it happens to be. There's going to be more ideas that you have than anything I would ever be able to come up with. And that's saying something. So let's just kind of go with what it is that you want to do, what it is that you want to try. And what is it that I'm going to try? What is it that I'm going to do? Honestly, I hadn't given this one enough thought, apparently, because I'm coming up blank. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to allow myself the space to think about what it is that I want to do in order to have my life be just that little bit better. And that's good for me. That's good for me. And when I find it, if I find it, then I'll work on implementing it. But I don't have to do it today. There's no rush. Okay? I feel very empty. I feel very nice in this level of full right now. So maybe you don't even want to include something in. But if you do, let's just go ahead and write it down. Just jot it down. And just as an exercise, I'm not saying that I am going to do this. I'm going to come back to my page. I'm going to come back to my page. We're going to run through this. Give myself a bit of space. There we go. And let's see. Right. Use the mouse, not the non-existent touch screen. Okay. And okay, great. So Alicia has shared, every time I feel anxious, I focus on my breath, one complete breath, and then I continue on with my day. It's really working well for me. That is fabulous. That is one I totally can get into because I rabbit hole into stuff and stress. So I'm gonna take that one as well. I'm gonna grab that. That is a fantastic idea. So thank you for sharing. Okay, so here we go. Here is my thing. So the item to add to my day, my daily experience. Because this is sort of like a whenever type of thing, right? So this is part of my daily experience. Whenever I feel anxious or upset, I will focus on my breath. I'm going to keep it there for a second. I'm going to focus on my breath. Great. So that's the basic idea. And Alicia has also identified how she's going to focus on her breath, which is another brilliant part to what she wrote. I will take one full breath. And then continue. I love what she wrote. I'm stealing it completely. Sorry, sweetie, or thank you, sweetie, or both. And then continue on with my day. Repeat as necessary. Okay, good. And that is how I'm going to handle that. And yeah, that is brilliant. And what a wonderful thing to add, a breath. Focusing on breath. Good. I like that. Okay, I'm going to get this tablet back out of the way. I'm going to come back to the room. Good. So how did your exercise go? What are you going to add? Toss it in the chat. Maybe toss it in the comments if you're catching this on the replay. Yeah. Let us know how you're gonna do. Anyway, with that, I think that is a complete idea for expressing today. And that's what we're doing. Express, right? Expressions, drawing expressions. So with that, I'm going to start to close up. And let's just move over to my drawing expressions haiku. Who are we? A creative space, holistically supportive. Please like, share, subscribe. Join us weekly. You can join us weekly here and on the live stream. You can join us at Free Expressions. Over here under the hashtags, please do share. If you are on social media, hit it with that tag, DX Live with Parz. There's all the various odd ways you can get a hold of us. I know that the Linktree link has already gone up, and all of our links are available there for all the various odd ways that you can interact with our goings on. And with that, we'll just close things up here. And thank you so, so much in a very, very Thai way of hands together over heart. Thank you so much for being a part of today. Thank you so much for being a part of letting go. And I hope to see you next week. Okay, bye for now.